In P'rashat Kitisa, it talks about the famous story of the Het HaEgel. And we know that Bnei Israel, they were dancing with the Egel, and Avraham made it, and Aaron HaKohen was like the one who was telling them, so to speak, trying to instructing them to, do the Het HaEgel. Now the obvious question is, how could it be that Bnei Israel, coming out of Mitzrayim, having the Kiryat Yamsuf, many miracles happened for them, all of a sudden now they're going to come and dance with the golden calf? Like, what's going on over here? Now they're going to come and deny Hashem and everything? Why is it that Bnei Israel, they're all of a sudden, now we're going to, once Moshe Rabbeinu goes up to Har Sinai, now we're going to start worshipping Het HaEgel? What's going on? When Moshe Rabbeinu goes up to Har Sinai, now they have the rights to do so? What's going on over here? That's question number one. Question number two is, also Aharon took place in this. Aharon, how could it be that he allowed such a thing to begin with? Aharon, he was the chosen Kohen Gadol from Hashem. And if he took part of this Het HaEgel, another question is, how come he didn't die the first one out of all the Jews to die? He should have died the first one, because he's the one who took place in the Het HaEgel. So it must mean something else happened. So how could it be that Aharon took place in the Het HaEgel? So again, the two questions are, how did Bnei Israel come and betray Hashem, like after all this time, to just go worship Avodah Zarah? And another question, why they did it specifically when Moshe Rabbeinu was up at Har Sinai? And third question, why Aaron took place in it and didn't sacrifice his life like Hud did. Hud was he was against it. He said, no, we're not gonna allow this to happen, and they killed him. And I believe his reward was that from his descendants was Ruth, who had David HaMelech, who Mashiach's going to come out of. Not exactly sure, but I believe that, I remember that's what happened. So, but anyway, so that's the questions. So, to answer the question, let's start with the question, how come Bnei Israel, they were the ones who actually did the sin? So to answer that question, so we have to understand what exactly was going on over here. Like, what caused all this? So basically, here's what happened. We know that they had a delay. Moshe Rabbeinu had a delay. That's what they thought, because they miscalculated. And he didn't come from Har Sinai. And Rashi tells us that the Satan showed them an image, Bnei Israel, an image of Moshe Rabbeinu dead, and they're carrying him. And they thought that he's dead. So what they do? So they started worshiping the Avodah Zarah. Why? Now that's the question. Why would they do that? So to answer the question, I want to go to a different question. It's a similar question, but just somewhere else. We know, also in the beginning of time, when Adam in the times of Adam HaRishon, how did Avodah Zarah start? No one was bowing down to Avodah Zarah, and today, everyone bows down to Avodah Zarah. Most of the people, at least, because of their parents did it, so they copy them. They don't care about the explanations. They're just doing their customs, and they don't care about anything. But before that, we're talking the beginning of time where Avodah Zarah didn't even exist yet. How did it even start to begin with? That's the question. How could it be that it started and there was no one doing it yet, and everyone believed in Hashem back then? That was like they knew Hashem's the one who created Adam. It was obvious. So why did it start to begin with? The answer is that the Goyim and everyone else, they're thinking, hey, guess what? Hashem is too far from me. I'm such a low level. Compared to me to Hashem, it's a big difference. How am I gonna be able to, me as such a low person, be able to communicate with Hashem? So what's the idea? Bring Avodah Zarah. Now I could ask, hold on. Avodah Zarah is even lower than this guy, so why bring in the first place? This guy is just a statue. How is he going to be able to communicate with Hashem? It doesn't make sense. But we're not talking about this. This is today. Today we don't have black magic and all these things. But back then, it was a different story. They had black magic. The Avodah Zarah had some type of power. Also the Egel. The Egel was saying that he was Hashem. So, that means something. Just to give you an example, to show you like they had some type of power, we see when Rahel took Lavan's Avodah Zarah and Yaakov was going, so Lavan knew where Yaakov was because he saw from his Avodah Zarah where he went. That's just a proof because he had some type of power. No normal human beings able to do such a thing. To tell, like they had some like special powers. So the idea over here is that they were thinking, the Goyim thinking, oh, we're too low. We need someone who's on a higher level, who could do miracles, who could do all these types of things. That type of person is gonna ask Hashem, and that's what happened. So here's what happened. So the Goyim, they start praying to. They had good intentions. Well, their intentions was really for it to go to Hashem. So they prayed to Avodah Zarah, hey, you tell Hashem this. But after generations, they forgot about it and it turned to actual Avodah Zarah. That's how it started. This is how Avodah Zarah started. And same idea over here. The Bnei Israel said Moshe Rabbeinu, who's able to do so many miracles. He did the Kiryat Yamsuf, most of the Makot, and many other things, miracles. We lost Moshe Rabbeinu. We saw he died. That's what they thought. He died. So what do we have to do now? We have to have someone who's also kind of similar to Moshe in power, so he can connect to Hashem for us. That was a mistake, and they didn't realize. So that's exactly what went on. Now, if you're asking me, I'll tell you, hold on. It doesn't really seem that they're doing anything wrong over here. Because they had good intentions. They didn't want to serve the Avodah Zarah. It was really not to serve the Egel, but was to serve Hashem. So what's going on over here? Why are they getting punished for something that they're doing that, like, it doesn't make so much sense? Because they had good intentions. So why are they getting punished for it? So, before getting to the answer, let's go back to Aaron. Why Aaron? He took part of the Egel. Why? And the answer is for the same answer we're saying over here. Bnei Israel, they were really. So here's what happened. Aaron, so Bnei Israel, they killed Hur, and guess what would happen? If Hur got killed and they didn't listen to him, what's the point of Aaron saying it? Think of it like this. It's like, the halakha is that, let's say someone, the halakha is, of course, just whenever someone's doing a sin or he's not doing something right, you have to tell him. But there's exceptions to the rule. If you know he's not going to listen to you, not only you don't have to, you're not supposed to. Because if he's going to rebel and he's going to scream at you for it, what are you getting yourself into such a situation? If you know that Hud got killed from trying to stop this protesting against it. Aaron, if he does the same thing, what do you think's gonna happen? They're gonna do the same thing. What, you think they're gonna listen to him? But the idea is, so the question is, why did he just help them out? Though he should have just stayed away from the problem or something. Why did he help out? The answer, he saw their good intentions. Aaron. Before we get to the answer, just an introduction. There are two types of people. If let's say you want to get someone into to do something. If you want to get someone to do something, there's two ways to do it. One, by fear. I'll put a gun to your head if you don't worship this idol or whatever. Then that's called doing it out of fear. You really don't want to do it. But what you rather not happen, what wouldn't rather not happen to you is that you get killed. So what would be worse? It would be worse to get killed than to worship this thing, even though I really don't want to. That's called fear. But there's another type. It's called love. How do you do it? By love. You become friends with the guy. You say, "Oh, I have things that similar to what you have," and then what? Now you become best friends. Now he does everything like you. He follows you. That's why I always supposed to stay far from the goyim. Not supposed to become too friendly with them, because then we get corrupted in their ways. So anyway, when you become good friends we know. The way to become a good friend, mainly, is to have something that you both have that are similar to each other. Like if this guy says to you, "Oh, I like this," he also likes the same thing. So same thing with Aaron over here. Aaron was trying to become friendly with them. He's like, "Hey, yeah, I agree with you. You're very good and everything." Because what would happen if you said, "No, I don't like what you're doing"? They'll kill him on the spot. Say, "Well, you trying to become friendly with me? I'll kill you." All the Erev Rav, they'll do that. So the point is that Aaron tried to convince them, he wanted to get them friendly, and then once they're very friendly, so he's gonna say, "Hey, you know what? I don't want to do the service of the idol." So then they'll say, "Okay, yeah, it's a good idea. Fine." It's also same idea. Let's say you have your friend. You say he asks you, "Would you like this thing?" Say, "Yeah." Most likely he's to agree with you. Say, "Yeah, I also like it." Why? Because let's say, because a friend usually has something similar to you. It's not like, let's say you like your father, okay? And let's say there's another guy. He hates your father. Are you going to like that person? No. He doesn't like your father, so why should you like him? So the idea is that whenever you have something like your friends, they're supposed to have things similar most of the times. Sometimes. So that's what Aaron was trying to do here, but it didn't work out. He tried to solve time, but it ended up going for the bad. Now let's go back to our other question. So why Bnei Yisrael getting punished for it? If their intentions were good, they really didn't want to go against Hashem. Why did they get punished? What did they do wrong? As we know, the Erev Rav was really the ones behind it. But the Erev Rav wasn't just, they were actually worshipping the Avodah Zarah, not for the good intentions. They were not L'Shem Shamayim. They were doing it because they wanted to bow down to the idols. What do the Jews react to this? They're all clapping. Yeah, good. And everything. They're all happy, they're clapping, they're not protesting against us. Hey, why you're doing it for the wrong intentions? What are you doing? They should have at least done that. If they'd done that, they probably would have not got punished. And that was the mistake. A similar example, if you're going to a wedding, there's three types of people. There's the Sadiq, the middle guy, and the Rasha, I'd say. But so for the Sadiq category, the guy he goes to, let's say he goes to a non-Siniyut wedding where it's mixed or whatever. So he goes, the guy who just comes, you say Hazaku Baruch and you run out. That's That's Sadiq. He's good. He's a good guy. What about the guys like 50-50? So he'll stay for the wedding. He just comes for the food. He's not gonna dance. He's not gonna do nothing. That's it. He comes, he eats, and that's it. He's gone. But there's a third guy who's the worst guy. This guy over here. Not only he comes to eat, he's also dancing with them. He's celebrating on this, So that's of course that's not the right thing to do. So the idea over here is that you can't just be celebrating with them. It's like, because you're like basically considered you're agreeing with them when you celebrate. Like, you're agreeing with them. That was their problem. That's what happened, and this is what caused. That's what happened with the sin over here. So now that we got that straight, let's go a little more into detail with what happened. As I mentioned before, she says that what happened, the Bnei Israel saw Satan bringing Moshe Rabbeinu down, dead. So where did Rashi see this from? It says the pasuk says he's Moshe, whatever, etc. It says this man Moshe knew everything. Like, if you usually look at the normal Rashi's always bothered with a question and has an answer. Meaning that even sometimes even though he doesn't really say his question most of the time, but he's bothered. Why does he say this? Why does he say that? Based on what he brings down. Now the question is, what's wrong? What's Rashi bothered by over here? Because this man Moshe is like if we're talking about you could have said this means this man Moshe. What does it mean? It means he's like such a great person and he died. We don't know what became of him. So what's wrong with the pasuk? That's the question we have on Rashi. What's wrong with the pasuk? To answer the question, we go to explanation. What does it whenever the Torah says zeh, this? So what does that mean? Because there's other ways of saying this in the Torah in Hebrew. You could say exalt or whatever, but Aaron Cutler explains that whenever the Torah says zeh, it doesn't just mean this. There's a deeper explanation to what it means. It means that you could see something and you're 100% sure about it. Just to give an example, we read every day. We read Ayashi Moshe when we pray, and it says Ze Eli ve'anveu ve'areu shuati. Read that. And what does Ze over here mean? Rashi says, you know what it means? All the Jews were able to point up to Hashem and they could say Hashem's the real God in the world. They are all 100% sure about it. That's what Rashi says over here. And the same idea over here, Rashi's bothered. What's Zeh coming to teach us over here? What did they see? What were they so certain about? What were the Jewish people so certain about? And you know what the answer was? They were so certain Moshe Rabbeinu died. The Satan showed Moshe Rabbeinu dead, and they were 100% certain that he died. Now, if you compare these two pesukim, this has to be something that bothers you over here, because if you think about it, how can it be that the Jews, the same amount that they loved Hashem, that they were 100% sure that Hashem's the creator of the world, they're the same exact 100% for the Jews, for Moshe Rabbeinu dead? How can it be such a thing? Like it doesn't seem like it makes sense, because Hashem's like, okay, fine, you could understand like they were 100%, but the same exact for the certainty that Moshe Rabbeinu was dead. How can this be? That's the question over here, and that's really the big question over here. So, to answer the question, let's go to another point of this week's Pashal also. That is, right after the Egel, Moshe Rabbeinu brings down the Luchot. And we know, Hashem tells Moshe, hey, the Jews are sinning, they're doing the Egel. Moshe Rabbeinu goes down, he breaks the Luchot. Obvious question over here. Why didn't he just break it on top of the mountain? Why do you have to go all the way down and see the Jews? And now he breaks it. What's the problem with breaking it up there? Why do you have to go and see it? What's the problem over here? That's the question. And the answer is to teach us really valuable lesson. Teach us something. Every time you do something, you're uncertain about something. Well, not even uncertain. You're 100% about something. Don't just panic right away. Say, oh yeah, and then throw everything you've done till now into the garbage. So let me explain. So, let's say you're in a situation. Times are hard for you. Something happened. And things are going not so well. So then, and you're doing everything you can. You're helping the people. You're a Sadiq. You're doing everything you're supposed to do. So now you're gonna say, oh, I thought there's supposed to be a beracha. If someone is a Sadiq, why am I suffering? Why is all these things happening? So you're going to say, oh, look, the Torah is all fake, it's nonsense, it's lying. So you throw all of it to the garbage, and now you say, okay, I'm going back to my phony lifestyle. I don't care about this. This is the idea over here. Moshe Rabbeinu was teaching us. Guess what? You think that you could just go and do these types of things? You throw everything you've done until now into the garbage, and you could say, oh, this is the same thing as giving someone the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because you could say, oh, let's say you see someone, he's going to McDonald's. You see him, he comes out, he has the kippah on, he has a stain of ketchup or whatever on his shirt. So what do you say to him? Oh, this guy, he ate from McDonald's. But you could give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't eat from McDonald's. But actually, it's very interesting that it's not just if you're uncertain about something. We're talking if you're 100% about something. Even if you know 100% that this is what it is, you think that's 100%, you still have to go and double check. Still investigate. See how it goes. Let Hashem do His thing, and then you see what happens. Don't jump to conclusions thinking that's correct. It's kind of like an expression we say here in America, think before you act. Even though it's like more of like I don't know, like more of, whenever you do something, don't jump to conclusions too quickly. Don't jump too quickly before you act. To do something, really to act, because you could change your whole lifestyle over it. And that's the idea over here. So what happened over here? The Jews, what was their problem? What did they do wrong? So here's what happened. So yes, they came with all good intentions and everything. But the fact that they actually were 100% sure that Moshe Rabbeinu was done for and he's dead, and they threw everything into the garbage just because they thought that, and even though it was so clear, you have to still investigate and see for an answer. Another example. If someone comes to you and he says, He says to you, he asks you like a question or something. I don't know. Asks you, how's your day going or something. So you could tell him, or how someone else, or some other person say, what is this guy, like, how's he feeling, or whatever. And based on an inference on what the doctors say, let's say he's in a hospital or something, and you say to him, oh, he's gonna be alright. Even though the doctors say for sure he's gonna be alright. So yeah, he's fine. Yeah, his Baruch Hashem is gonna be alright. It's true that he could be alright. It's true. But investigate. You have to investigate a little more. And you might think, okay, what's the big deal? So, why do I care if you investigate or not? So what? But really, in reality, it's something that changes many people's lives, and you don't understand. Like, so what? So it doesn't just change what's small decisions. It changes like your whole lifestyle. If someone, for example, he sees all these things, says, where's Hashem the Holocaust, or what is Hashem? Why isn't Hashem helping Tzaddikim? Why is this Rasha is rich or whatever? How can this be? Without even though it seems 100% correct, they're gonna take everything, throw into garbage. Oh, this is all fake, and all these things. That's what people think. They shouldn't. They have to check. They have to investigate. Wait a little bit, see what happens, and then, okay, fine, do what you have to do. But you can't just jump to a conclusion because you're panicking. You have to take it easy, understand the situation, and then you see what actually happened. So, there was once, just like a quick example, another example, there was once a rabbi. People ask him questions, and they ask him like, oh, what's this halakha or whatever. So he would sit there, he would think for two minutes about the case, and then you say to them, hey, good question. And they're like, you're all bothered. Oh, what? What are you spacing out for 2 minutes for, and then telling me good question? At least answer my question. Like, what's going on over here? So really, of course, what's happening is that the rabbi is just like, he's saying like what's going on. Like, he's thinking about the case. Even though through his knowledge, like, oh, he could tell this guy, oh, this is not right away, based on his knowledge. But what if it comes out in the outcome? Sometimes it happens, by the way, that people, the rabbis, by mistake, if they think too quick, and then they tell them the wrong thing, and then they come and say, okay, yeah, thank you, Rabbi, and then they end up doing it. The rabbi say, oh, I told them the wrong thing. Cause why? Cause they have to. You're supposed to think about the case, think what happened, and then, based on what you hear out of some type of thinking, what should I do and everything, that's what's supposed to be the outcome. So that's what the rabbi, that's the idea over here. So again, this teaches us that when you're always supposed to be looking to always see the right things and do what's really the proper way. And you see that we're supposed to judge people, we're supposed to look at things and take our time, supposed to investigate. That's the whole idea. There was once a story. There was a guy in the times of the Holocaust. They're online until get killed. And this guy over here, there's a guy in front of the line. He's getting closer to the front of the line to get killed. So he's all scared. He's panicking, or whatever. So, what happened? Over here, his friend comes to him. Say, hey, I know a way to sneak to the back. You wanna, come? Says, no, I'm staying right here. I say, huh? Why? Well, you want to get killed? What are you doing with yourself? You know, he tells him, guess what? You know, if Hashem put me on this place in this part of the line, it has to be for a good reason. It has to be that it's really, you have to see what happens. Maybe in the end something will happen. You never know. If Hashem, maybe it's because Hashem really, this is the place where Hashem wants to save me, or maybe it could be the opposite. Maybe it will be that Hashem wants to get me killed, but still, the bottom line is I have to stay here. So that's why Hashem put me in this exact place in the line. And what happened in the end? The Nazis, they went to the back of the line. They killed all the people, and that guy got saved. So you see from the story that you can't just, of course, now not everything we're able to act on our own. Some things are too big for us, or whatever. So in those situations, of course, you have to do as much as you can, but when it comes to Hashem and everything, you have to wait, see what Hashem does, and based on that, you do your part. Don't just go, oh, I can't, it's such a big problem, or I can't do anything about this, and you get the point. So basically, to end off, just a question based on the story. How do you know when Hashem sends you a shaliach or a messenger to get you to be saved or not saved? So what if in the story that guy was coming to save him? How do you know if it was real or not real, or Hashem put you in this line for this place, or maybe He just sent you someone to get you out? How do you know? Maybe it's maybe it's good, maybe it's not good. What, you're gonna have to rely on luck or whatever? Well, what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to know? That's the question. Yeah, I heard a beautiful answer. I have two answers. That one, first of all, it has to seem not normal. If it's a shaliach, if someone just comes to save you, it has to be not like a usual thing. For example, we'll give the example of the Holocaust. Let's say you're on the line and everything. Some German soldier or some guy, it's not normal. He comes to you, say, hey, come to the back of the line. Then that has to be a clear message from Hashem. But if it's just some normal guy comes to you, hey, come, let's go to the back of the line. Everyone's telling you that. So what do you think? That's a miracle from Hashem? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's the opposite, So basically, that's one thing. Now the other thing is that it's very interesting that just having that feeling inside of you, like, oh, this is right, that also has to do with it. Even though you might say, what does that mean? I would give you an example. A lot of times it's very interesting that people, they're learning Torah. Let's say they're trying to understand the Gemara, okay? So they're learning, they're trying to understand, and then all of a sudden, oh, I understand. Most of the time when they have that thing, they understand it. Why? Because it's really that's Hashem just giving it to them in their mind, what's actually going on. Most of the time, majority of the time, when they have that type of feeling, oh, I know the answer now, they're so confident in everything, that's when it's the right answer. And over here also, if it's just oh wow, Hashem sent me with someone to save me, then if you have that feeling, it's just almost automatic like that. Now that's just what's reality. That people, that's what happens. So anyway, basically, bottom line is, Moshe Rabbeinu was teaching us. This is what you're supposed to do. You wait till you see what's the truth. Even though Hashem, he heard it from Hashem, 100%. Hashem doesn't lie, we know that. Even though Hashem told him, he still had to, he still brought the whole down to, let me see for myself. Maybe I'm understanding wrong from Hashem. Because sometimes we understand the Torah wrong. It could be wrong. Meaning that sometimes there's like questions we have, like, oh, why does Hashem say this? It contradicts this, or whatever. Like the Torah, like there's a lot of things in the Torah that are very mysterious, and there's many beautiful answers, and yeah. So the point is that Hashem, like we know he doesn't lie, but you might understand it wrong. So let me just like verify this. So I'm gonna go down to a mountain and see what happens. Then all of a sudden, what happened? So he saw Bnei Israel. And actually, very interesting, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't throw down the Luchot. What actually happened? It's a machloket, I think, whether one of the letters of the Luchot or all of them, they left, and then, like, if you think about it, the Luchot was actually very, very heavy. So how is the Luchot being able to be carried? The letters were carrying it. It's like similar idea with the Aaron, like the actual, like, it was floating by itself, but really, like, they're just carrying it anyway. Like, without the Shekinah over there, it's gone. Like, you know, like you have to use your own way and everything. And the Luchot was very heavy. So what happened? So Moshe Rabbeinu, he's carrying it. All of a sudden, he sees the Jews sitting. They're dancing with the golden calf, the Hetayegel, and then what happened? So one of the letters or whatever flew away. They went back to heaven, and then the Shekinah went away from it. So now the Shekinah is not carrying it anymore. So Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't carry it, so he dropped it. That's what actually happened. So then at that point, Moshe Rabbeinu realized, oh, guess what? This means for sure. Now I have no doubt. I investigated that the Jews did the Hetayegel, and they're not worthy of receiving the Torah just yet. So I want to end off with this. You know, so the Rekanati explained something very interesting. If the Jews would have accepted the Torah right there without doing the Hetayegel, the purpose of this world would have been finished. Meaning that the whole, the Satan, will have no more tests. The whole purpose, they'll fulfill the purpose. Why? Because everyone in those days, all the Jews were on such a high level. Especially if you think about it, they had the zechut to have so many miracles. They had the Yetziat Mitzrayim, Kiryat Yamsuf, many other things. Like they had such a zechut. That means they are on such a high level, and they were on such a high level spiritually that if they accepted the Torah right there and now, then the world the purpose of this world is to get the Torah, and then the world will go back to the stage of Adam HaRishon, where Malachim were used to serve Adam before he did the sin of eating from the tree. Before that, the Malachim would serve him, and the Jews will go back to that level once they receive the Torah. And what do you need a world for? Similar idea also with Adam. If Adam would have not ate from the tree, the whole world, the purpose of this world would be finished. So this teaches us something very valuable. And you might think it's not a big deal, but this teaches us such a big deal. You know, the Jews, the bottom line is, why did the Jews sin? What caused it? Because they had this 100% certainty. This is the real cause of the Jews sinning for the Egel. Why? Because they didn't investigate. And what happened? The Satan took over that thing that they didn't investigate, and he made them sin. They could have made the world, they could have finished the purpose of this world. This is the severity. The fact that we're living here today now is because they didn't have this certainty. And this is what Moshe Rabbeinu was teaching us over here. Always, when we do things, you have to make sure, look into it. Don't just jump. Oh, I'm losing money or whatever. Something's happening. Oh, now all of a sudden, it must mean something bad's going on. You can't just say that. You have to go you have to take it slow, because because many things happen, and it changes many people's lives because they do such things. So this is the lesson of Moshe Rabbeinu. Bezat Hashem, we'll learn from this, and we'll achieve great things, and we'll continue to learn and grow in Torah if we follow this path.